every artist, whether you're a painter, a musician, songwriter, photographer, mix engineer, everyone has a story. I'm here to share mine. First time I listened to music was back in '93. One of my friends let me listen to some Pennywise and Blink-182, and there was just something about that energy that I really liked. My father was also a mix engineer. He was a songwriter, so I was just kind of born into it. Technology then and now, we're talking a 30-year span. It's just night and day. Back then you had the book studio time. Everything was analog. To have your own recording studio is $100,000. Now you can have your own recording studio, even if it's a budget recording studio, for just a couple $100, and you got yourself set up. I got into my very first band. I remember walking 2-3 miles just across town just to get to band practice, carrying the amplifier. I had my cheap Squire guitar in a gig bag, and it was all worth it because you would walk miles upon miles just to make music with your friends. One of the greatest things about music is you can listen back to your old recordings and what you're working on currently, and you can just see the progression. Dan, who was one of my very first friends that I was making music with in high school, he had this back room. He had a practice room, he had this back room. Him and the other guy's name was Jay. They were just sitting back talking about recording, and I had no clue. I knew nothing about recording. I was just a guitar player. I started dabbling into playing with the bass guitar a little bit. Something about the recording equipment and the knowledge that these guys had really drew me into the art of recording and composition, making your own music, playing the guitar, bass, drums. I started learning all those instruments. I eventually learned how to play the keyboard a little bit. I woke up one day and I just wanted to have my own sound, but I didn't really know that much about recording, so I started learning a lot from these guys. Mind you, this is 2003. Technology still isn't what it is today. There was no DAW from, if you're using Logic Pro. Maybe Pro Tools was around then, but it was still in its early stages. It was still going from analog to digital. We're talking about Roland 16-track recorders with a digital LED display, so it was still a little bit different. What am I saying? It was a lot different. As years passed by, I started learning a little bit more, and then I started getting into using a DAW. I started with GarageBand. I moved on to Logic Pro after a couple of years, and now I'm working with Logic Pro and Pro Tools. I like Logic Pro for the songwriting aspect, and I like Pro Tools for a lot of the mixing, the fine-tuning for post-production work. I saw all these really cool studios online. Eventually I wanted to have my own recording studio so I could write and record my own music and have my own sound so I could share it with you guys, share it with the world. Even if it was for just a few people to enjoy my music, I just wanted to get it out there. I think the environment in your recording studio, your creative workspace, is really important. I think the best part about writing and recording music, being in your creative workspace, your recording studio, is when you get in, even if you have an idea of what you want your sound to be like, at the end of the day, you still have no idea what it's going to sound like. You could walk into the studio and you're going to have, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to have this guitar riff, the bridge is going to go here, the bridge is going to sound like that, but when you walk away, you're like, oh, but this might sound a little bit better. And then you start experimenting in your creative workspace, and there's just something really awesome about that. There's so many things you can do. You can do instrumental jam sessions, you could do covers, collaborations with your friends, people that you meet that you haven't met, and all that's going to play a role in how your sound is going to develop. And I just think it's such a great feeling when you're finally done with whatever project you're working on and with whoever you're working on a project with. Also, let me know in the comment section below if you want me to do like a 2026 studio tour. I don't have one of the craziest recording studios, but this is enough for me to write and record and make good quality music to send off to you guys. So let me know if you want me to make a video on either a studio tour or how I write and record a song from start to finish. I would really enjoy making a video showing you guys that. If you haven't checked out the Kryptonite cover that I started working on with my friend Aaron Martin, who I'm collaborating with on this project, be sure to check out. It's the last video that we came out with last week. I'm expecting to finish the Kryptonite cover within the next week or two, so after today's video upload, we won't be uploading until the completion of that video, because I like to have that music video out for you guys. I hope this video gave you some kind of motivation, inspiration to write and record, create music. Don't talk about making music. Get out there and start creating. This has been my story. I'll see you on the next music video upload, and I hope you all have a great day.